I think it's interesting. I've been thinking about Little John in this the in the chapter right before this that you were talking about. He's in a archery contest of some sort, um, and he goes to that. He's dressed head to toe in red instead of green, so he's changed his color. So he's sneaky. He's not noticeable. But I was noticing this fun parallel with that happening around like this time of year, like the fall in October.
Huh.
So red leaves, dressed head to toe in red, and then he goes to the sheriff's house. So he goes indoors, and he gets fat and lazy, which I mean, it's sort of a hibernating winter kind of
Yeah.
and then where we see him again at the start of this chapter, he's yawning, he's waking up late in bed, he's the sun's already up, he looks out the window and he hears a bugle call. So he hears some call coming from the outside. It describes the smell of the woodbine. I think that's flowers, and that spring is here. And so there's this, like, the external world is coming back to life, and we see little John sort of waking up in his own life. And there's this interesting like interplay, which I was gonna talk about, just that on its own. But then you were saying about morality, and I realized that you have this. So if Little John is sort of standing in for like nature or something natural, he's active in the fall and then kind of falls asleep, wakes up in the spring. He also in the spring gets a little carried away, right? He's like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm gonna eat all this food. I'm gonna beat this guy up. I'm gonna smash through this door. I'm gonna fight this cook. We're gonna be buddies. We're gonna sing songs. We're gonna get drunk, and then let's steal all this stuff and go. So he's very boisterous. He's got a lot
Nice.
of energy.
Yeah.
And then he gets carried away in that energy, and he brings that, the sort of the results of that to Robin Hood, and Robin Hood is like, look, morality, like be a little more be a little more thoughtful. Don't get so carried away. Like you shouldn't have stolen from the sheriff. I think there's a line in there about like maybe when Robin Hood's talking to the sheriff or when he's talking to the men, he's like, none of the sheriffs, basically the people under him, his tenants, none of them have complained. So he's not ill-using them, which I think is the reason he gets to keep his silver.
Ah,
A couple chapters earlier, Robin Hood shows up as a butcher, and the sheriff doesn't realize, because the sheriff's pretty dumb. The sheriff doesn't realize it's Robin Hood, and he tries to rip off the butcher. He tries to like take advantage of this seemingly dumb guy. And so Robin Hood, in revenge, takes advantage of the sheriff and takes a bunch of money from him.
I see.
So he references that a little bit in this one. I read the earlier chapters just because I like knowing what's going on and I had the time to do it. Um, but again, you see Robin Hood being like, no, we only, I think we started talking about this as as him being like a sort of a noble trickster figure. And he's like, here we see him being like, no, we are only here to address the wrongs. We are not here to fulfill our own wildness and our own longing for adventure. Like we get to fulfill our adventure by righting the wrongs because the system is corrupt. But he's being very careful not to become a corrupt system himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. That is great. Yeah.